We have the 5 steps on how to use YouTube to build a massive following for your business on this edition of The DV Show.
We're on a mission to rid the world of bad video.
Bye-bye.
This is The DV Show. Bad video sucks.
Welcome to this edition of The DV Show podcast. My name is Brian. Are you visiting our social media channels? Our involvement in the video production world goes way beyond this podcast with a steady flow of tips, tricks, techniques, and feedback from all who follow. It's extremely awesome to interact and see Ron Lindeboom from Creative Cow chiming in, the Adobe folks giving some feedback and tips, drone videographers, wedding videographers, animators, filmmakers, editors, social media video pros, freelancers, you name it. They're all there giving input on social media topics that we post. It's a great way to connect and learn from a very diverse, very knowledgeable community of pros in this industry. And if you're not part of the community yet, I would highly suggest that you hop on board and participate. I'm always learning, and so will you. Now, you can visit our website at thedvshow.com for the list of where you can find us, and we would be happy to connect. Now, with that said, let's introduce our next guest, Nate Woodbury from BeTheHero.com. Now, Nate is a professional YouTube producer who currently produces 9 profitable YouTube channels for various clients. He helps his clients grow their YouTube following, turn their channels into lead generation machines, and some of them even generate 7 figures. Nate is a master of efficiency. He's an expert in developing ways to minimize time and expense, and he's here today on the DV Show podcast to share his 5-step formula for success. Now, I know you've heard this all before from others. The ongoing claim that YouTube can make you rich with a quick system as long as you drop $500 to learn how. Now, we avoided this topic for years on this podcast, avoided it like the plague. It was snake oil. But when we sat down with Nate and started talking with him, we realized very quickly that he's the real deal and actually doing it. Now, this interview became very informative. So you are obviously serious about YouTube. You're obviously serious. I mean, you've got some pretty big claims on, Be the Hero Studios on your website. And let's get into what got you started. Well, how'd this all happen?
Yeah. So are we officially in the interview or?
We are. See, I'm a professional. I don't let you see the tally light,
Well, absolutely. So, I pursue results. I'm driven by results, and I'm a master of efficiency. And so my business has evolved quite a bit as I've really followed what gets the best results. So I started with a web design service, and my clients were happy because we designed them pretty websites. But in my mind, I'm thinking, well, they're not really getting many visitors. Not much traffic's going to the website. So then I created an SEO service, and we got these pages ranked on the top of Google. And they were happy about that. But I was thinking, well, you're not making any sales. The websites are pretty brochures, and you're starting to get traffic now. So then I started creating promo videos so they could really promote their services and have a call to action. And the funny thing is I noticed something about 8 years ago. I noticed that these pages that we had on Google, and maybe I'll give you a few details of how we got them ranked on the top of Google.
Yeah, I'd love to know that. This is magic.
Yeah, I mean, we put a how-to video on the page. We would transcribe that video so we had a lot of content and we made it look pretty. We'd create infographics so that we could link it to Pinterest. We would do article marketing and broadcast these articles out and have them link back to the page. And we do blog commenting. we do the keywords and the tags and all that stuff. So it was a lot of work, and we it did work though. We got those pages ranked on the top of Google. And then I noticed something. I noticed that this how-to video was getting more traffic itself over on YouTube than the entire page we created was, that was ranking number one on Google. And 50 times more traffic. And I'm like, I like these results. I like the simplicity of creating one thing. And so I really just refined that strategy. And about 6 years ago, I reached out to some people to do a kind of a comprehensive, like, let's just go full bore on your YouTube channel. Really, not just do a video here, a video there, but let's do like a year or 2 year campaign using the strategy I'd figured out.
Now, let me stop you there for 1 second. Let me interject. So this was way before Google took over YouTube, I'm assuming, right? So this was when YouTube was by itself. So you managed to get this SEO going on even way before Google even took over.
I admit I don't know the dates of that, but the YouTube search engine is fantastic. One of the great advantages to YouTube in the way that they started from the beginning is their partner program and sharing the revenue with creators. And so there's really just this vested interest in having creators make good content, and the better their content is, the more the YouTube promotes it. And so and naturally it's got an amazing search engine built into it. So it's just the prime environment to really get good results like this. So anyway, the rest is kind of history, as they say, because with those first few channels that I launched with my clients, they really did well. They got a huge traction, huge track record of success now that I could show others. And, early on, I couldn't sell my services. Like, I partnered with these people, but now that I had a big track record of success, I could sell my services now, and I became a profitable business. So
they want you. All right. So tell me I don't know if you can, but you offer this as a service. So what are the secrets of getting, because YouTube right now is very competitive, like super competitive. I dabbled in it a little bit, and, I got the views that I wanted in some circumstances. In some circumstances I didn't, but the interview's over as far as I'm concerned, because you gave some really good gems there at the beginning, not only doing your YouTube channel, your YouTube video, but extending it out with infographics and this and that, everything leading to that video, which is an idea of what I got. Tell me more.
All right. So I've got a 5-ingredient formula.
Ooh.
That if you follow these 5 ingredients, you will get results on YouTube. And let me even qualify what results are. So the first 4 ingredients, if you follow just those 4 and not the 5th one, you'll get traffic. It'll be gradual. It'll be a trickle of traffic that'll come in, but it will be your ideal clients. So if you have a business, you'll start getting leads into your business with this, and these videos will continue to get you results for years and years to come. So you just make a video, you post it to YouTube, it will rank today, and you'll get traffic from that video for years. And if you include ingredient number 5, which I'm going to give you all these ingredients, then you'll actually at one point receive exponential growth and promotion. YouTube will really promote your content beyond the search engine directing traffic to you.
So this is all organic, not paid, all organic.
Yeah, I don't do paid. I don't do paid traffic. And I'm not an expert at viral traffic either yet. I've had many videos get millions and millions of views. And, some of the channels I can tell you about are getting 20 or 30,000 views every single day. And we don't make viral content. So it's content that's pulling in people who love you, admire you, and want to hire you. So ingredient number 1 is my leaf strategy. Okay, all 5 ingredients, the ingredients 2 through 5, I'll be able to cover pretty quickly. But ingredient number 1, I want to go into detail on. My leaf strategy. You got to picture a tree. Okay, so a tree has a really broad trunk that goes out into branches that goes out to the leaves. And the trunk represents your broad area of expertise. Each branch represents the many different categories, right? So if you wrote a book, the book might be on this trunk, but each chapter would be a different branch. The leaves represent the very specific questions that people are asking. And I'm talking real specific, like an 8-word phrase or a 10-word phrase, but yet
These are
still
like
has
keywords.
consistent search volume. Yeah, keywords, but really long, and that still have consistent search volume. So for example, I did some keyword research with my friend Katie Gutierrez in Miami, who's an interior designer. And we use this tool, we put in the word living room design, and we found a whole bunch of really specific questions like how to design a living room with a corner fireplace. That's pretty specific. How to design a living room with high ceilings, or how to design a kitchen living room combo, right? So
and you're finding all this on that tool.
Yeah, and the tool,
I think it's
there's a company called
Ahrefs.
There's a company called SEMrush that makes this keyword magic tool. I love the name because it does work like magic. I've used many tools over the years. It came out in beta 2 years ago, and boy, was it a game changer for me. It basically took 8 hours of work down to 1 hour. So it sounds simple, and it seems like, okay, we just got to do keyword research. We've heard keyword research, we've heard that phrase or SEO or these terms for so long, and we kind of get overwhelmed. Throw away everything else that you've learned, throw away the overwhelm, because with this one tool, it will make a huge difference if you do it before you film. You can't film videos, or you can't go back and say, wow, I've got hundreds of hours of amazing content, I just need to SEO it. It doesn't work that way on YouTube. Here's an example to kind of illustrate that. So my friend Doreen, she is a nutritionist, and she teaches natural remedies. She came to me and said, I have a sore throat remedy, and I think it would make a good video. If I would have pulled out my camera and just filmed her telling me about this sore throat remedy, and then did keyword research after, the title I found was How to Get Rid of Strep Throat Without Antibiotics. Real specific, 9 words long. We couldn't have given that video that title after the fact, right? Because she wouldn't have used that phrase. She wouldn't have talked about the why not antibiotics or without antibiotics. She wouldn't have talked about strep throat specifically, or maybe, but it wouldn't have been the focus. So if you do keyword research first, you know exactly what to talk about. And when you start your video, it's like, hey, welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to get rid of strep throat without antibiotics, so people know exactly that they found what they're searching for. So if you do the keyword research first, you go for phrases that are that long, they're so specific that you eliminate a lot of the competition. And you also don't need phrases that have thousands and thousands of searches each month. Typically, other people have access to this tool or keyword research tools like this, and they'll find phrases that have high search volume. We just want a trickle of traffic, right? So even if the phrase gets 10 or 20 searches a month, those people, they see your video title like, oh, that's exactly what I just typed in. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So they end up watching your video all the way to the end. And the algorithm sees that. The YouTube algorithm's like, oh, wow, we just sent somebody this video and they watched it all the way to the end. This is a good video. Who else can we suggest this video to? So YouTube starts to be your promoter. They start to promote your content. You're not paying YouTube for that. And in fact, as you start getting, a significant amount of traffic, YouTube actually pays you for that because of their partner program. So, if you're getting millions of views on videos, YouTube's paying you thousands and tens of thousands of dollars for that advertising space. My biggest video, like, maybe I'll say it this way because it will really sink in. If you make a video that makes YouTube money, YouTube will promote that video. So I have a video, it did not go viral, but yet YouTube promoted it so much, it's had over 6 million views. This was a unique scenario where I was a partner on the channel. This is one of the first channels I told you about. That one, I got the ad revenue for this video. And over 2 years, my ad revenue for this one video was $150,000.
No way.
It generated leads, though, at a much more profitable scale. I would estimate it was about $3 million that generated in my business partner to his business from just that one episode.
Come on, Nate. Is it this easy? Is it that easy?
Well, I would say
you're not telling me something.
when we get to ingredient number 5, you'll find out, you know what, this isn't easy.
Yeah, I can already tell. So the only reason why you're using these keywords is to create a title for your YouTube video, right? That's the only reason at this point. And maybe stick it in when you do the, what do you call it there? The background text. What did you call
tags and stuff?
Yeah, tags and things. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the interesting thing about YouTube. It stopped using the tags. It transcribes your video automatically. And so it knows what your video is about. And so YouTube even admitted, maybe for a few moments or a few seconds, however long it takes the program to actually transcribe your video, before that happens, it might look at your tags to kind of get a guess of what the video is about. But eventually it knows what it's about because, so if you make a video, how to invest in real estate with no money, naturally, as you answer that question, you're going to be talking about real estate and getting a mortgage and a loan and the buyers. You're going to be using all the right words that relate to that topic. And so YouTube will know exactly what your video is about and know who to show it to.
So can you sneak a little bit? Because I know you can upload your own text version of your video, the transcription. So can you put the keywords in that as well? Is that something?
What I do, YouTube does an automatic transcription, and I will edit it but I edit it so that it's better for subtitles. So I add punctuation, I add capitalization, I'll correct spelling errors. Sometimes if we're using, jargon or words that, are kind of important for us, but that the auto translate might not get correct, we make sure that that's all correct in there. And then that works to our advantage. You can upload your own, but it will still have its transcription. So if you're trying to cheat the system and put other keywords in there that you didn't even talk about, say you're like, what, Grant Cardone or Robert Kiyosaki, they're ranking for these, or Donald Trump is ranking for this, I'm going to put his name in there. But if you never really talked about those people in your video, YouTube is smarter than that.
Okay.
All right. So I've talked a lot about ingredient number 1, and it is really important. I talk a lot about this on my own YouTube channel and show lots of examples of that. But let me get into ingredients number 2 and 3. So number 2 is you want your videos to be an average length of 10 to 12 minutes. Okay. Ingredient number, and we can talk more about that. Ingredient number 3 is you want an average view duration or an average retention rate of 50% or higher. So if you have a 10-minute video and people are leaving after 30 seconds or even 90 seconds or something, YouTube's going to say, why is this video not performing well? Let's find another one that will keep them around longer. But if people are watching to the end, or you're at least getting, on average, people are sticking around for at least half of it, then you're heading the right direction. And
that you can find that out in the analytics when you post the video, right?
Yeah, YouTube shows you everything. They show you it's interesting, the location, the geography, the gender, the all the different demographics, materials. They show you what part of the video people are leaving.
Wow.
It's crazy. And you can compare one video to another and kind of gauge, okay, how come this one performed better than that? YouTube really gives us everything.
Didn't know that. Wow, I'm getting a lot here.
That's what I do. I pull back the curtains.
That's right. It's cool.
And I can demonstrate, because some people say, whoa, I get both actually. Some people say, wow, 10 minutes? That sounds like a long time.
Yeah.
But other people say,
it's against the rules, 10 minutes.
10 minutes enough. Well, on a lot of platforms, a minute is adequate. A minute video on Facebook is kind of like, we don't want to watch anything longer than that there, or Instagram especially. And people have been taught that, if you're making your promo video, you don't want it to be longer than 2 minutes or 3 minutes max, right? Well, that is true, because that's a commercial. That's a sales pitch, and people know that you're selling them something. And so you've got to be really high energy. It's got to be really entertaining and keep people's attention. But we're talking about how-to videos, educational videos, where they're searching for it. We're giving them value, and we're taking them through a process. And 10 minutes is a great amount of time to do that. And each environment has kind of its norm. So if we open up Netflix, if there's something that's 30 minutes long or 50 minutes long, we're kind of used to that. That's kind of the norm. A 1 minute Netflix episode would be really weird. the norm on YouTube is 10, 12 minutes. That's very common. I mean, you'll find a big variety of greater and smaller, but in the channels I watch, 10 to 12 minutes is the norm there too.
Okay.
But I have a demo I can give you. So
sure.
On that topic that Doreen shared, how to get rid of strep throat without antibiotics, I'm going to give you a bad example and then a good one, like what would keep people watching longer. So here's my bad example. All right, as we dive into this topic of how to get rid of strep throat without antibiotics, you need to grab 3 ingredients. You need to grab some fresh garlic, you need to grab some raw honey, and then some cayenne pepper. And if you mix all those things together and take that, it'll actually wipe out your strep throat. Okay, so people watching that, they might think, ooh, that's an amazing remedy, and they're in their kitchen. Or I haven't had time to build credibility, so they might think, I don't know about that. That sounds too good to be true. Or who knows what they're thinking, but I've already given away the secret. Why are they going to watch the rest of this 10-minute episode? Here's an example that I think would work better. All right, as we dive into this topic of how to get rid of strep throat without antibiotics, first I'm going to talk about why not antibiotics. And there's some good reasons we're going to cover. Then there are 3 ingredients. We're going to talk about each one, how each one is a natural antiviral and a natural antibacterial. Then we're going to go into my kitchen, and I'm going to show you how to make this and how to take it. And then I'm going to wrap this video up with a story about my son when he was really young. He had a high fever. He had strep throat. We used this remedy for him, and he had a side effect that was pretty significant, and you'll experience too, so you want to have a heads up. So let's dive right in. Okay, so
and then intro. Really set the stage. You have your intro.
Right. So, people realize, okay, he knows what he's talking about. This is going to be good. This is really what I'm here for. I'm ready for a 10-minute episode. I'm going to get comfortable, right? And they're going to watch the whole thing. That's the goal of
to build that retention rate up.
Exactly. All right. You ready for ingredient number 4?
Let's do it.
All right.
We're on 4 already?
Yeah, we're on 4. You need to design a custom thumbnail. So the thumbnail is that still image that you see. If you open up YouTube, there's a whole menu of videos in front of you begging you to click on them. Well, that still image is called a thumbnail. And YouTube will automatically just grab a random spot in your video and use that as a thumbnail if you don't create one. But they don't work so well, the automatic ones. And so you can use a program like Photoshop or a free program like Canva. Canva has YouTube thumbnail templates. They have them all the right dimensions already. So you can just create something that creates curiosity. What will make people want to click. And in the beginning, just guess. It is a lot of guesswork. Even for me, we've been doing this for years. You kind of just take a guess. Like, I have an idea that might work. And as you start to get traffic, there are tools you can use to test like one versus another. And you'll see, ooh, this one got a 4% click-through rate, but this one got a 7%. I think I understand why. And you kind of start to learn.
So you're going to have like a facial reaction or something, right? Like something that's, like I see a lot of these goofy faces and doing something really goofy, which gets the attention, right?
The goofy faces really seem to work. Yeah, if you can see the whites of their eyes and they're like reacting like crazy and they're pointing at something
that gets it.
Yeah, it seems to work. On how-to videos, if we have a video that's like, how to design a living room with a corner fireplace, you don't need to put that same text in the thumbnail because the thumbnail and the title are always shown together, but you can add some text that will enhance the curiosity. Because if, let's say I'm pointing at a corner fireplace, on the thumbnail, I might say 3 musts or something like that. Like, oh, there's 3 things that I've got to know, and it makes me want to click on it to find out what the 3 things are. So anything you could do to create that curiosity. Okay, so I can see you're sitting down, and hopefully everyone watching or listening to this is also sitting down because ingredient number 5 is a doozy. Okay, you've got to post 5 episodes per week. You got to plan on that consistency for a year or more. It gets hard. Yeah. So the strategy is simple. It's kind of straightforward. You do the keyword research. You find these questions people are asking, and I've given you some ideas of how we can keep people to stick around longer and get the clicks by making those curiosity creating thumbnails. But you've got to create hundreds of these videos. And even though we're going after the phrases that have low competition and low volume, we're getting high quality volume, but as we're creating hundreds of these videos, in a year, there are 260 weekdays. So if you launched a video every single weekday, by the end of the year, you'd create 260. It's a lot of work.
It is.
Okay. The results that come from this are, I'll keep this client confidential so I can give you actual numbers. One client, his channel is still really small. He just passed 1,100 subscribers. So just 1,100 subscribers. His business is making $150,000 per week in revenue because it's generating leads for his business. I've got another one that I can tell you. It's Chris Crone. He teaches real estate investing. Now, he's been doing it for 6 years. I started the channel with him at 0 subscribers. We're now approaching 600,000 subscribers. His business is now bringing in $1 to $2 million per month from organic YouTube traffic. Let me give you one that's...
and this is all based on your formula, basically, right? Through these steps.
Yeah,
they're doing. Yeah,
I produce dozens of different YouTube channels, and we all use the same strategy. Paul Jenkins, he teaches parenting, he teaches relationships. We're approaching 200,000 subscribers on his channel. It's a lead generation machine for him. And yeah, we follow these 5 ingredients, and it works.
Super. Very cool. Very cool. Well, we on the DV Show here are on a mission to rid the world of bad video. And the definition of bad video in this case is video that doesn't work for you or just lays flat. And you pretty much defeated. You're pretty much helping us accomplish our mission of ridding the world of bad video. So thank you very much for coming on the show, Nate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good stuff.
Yeah.
BeTheHeroStudios.com. Nate, I'm going to close off again saying thanks for coming on the DV Show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Video production just got easier. The DV Show.
Serious about creating better video? You're in the right place. Subscribe to our free online coaching service and expand your learning beyond our popular podcast.